Welcome to it, sports fans. The MKT Show. People saying, "Am I on a sabbatical? Have I died?" I've done none of those things. I have not died. I'm not on a sabbatical. I've not taken a break. Just had to take care of business, as they say. Hey, got to take care of business on the streets. Welcome to it, MKT Show. A little bit late today, but it's the beauty of the digital space because I made it. Hey, great weekend of sport. Nice to see some international rugby back. We'll talk about All Blacks. My thoughts on the All Blacks. Ugh. Had a problem with them for a while. I'll tell you what my problems are there. But good game. Good game. Australia under new management, new regime. Look good. Hooper, somebody who everybody thought might be troublesome. Looks like he's got the boys together. But I have my concerns about the All Blacks. They haven't learned from their mistakes of the past. I'll go through that. And then I'll give you my three managers that I think are under the most pressure this season. Not necessarily who's going to get fired first, but who do I think is under the most pressure of all the managers? So remember, sport@cliffcentral.com. I'm MKT Inspires on all social media. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Be a friend, tell a friend. Let's get into it. Hope you had a great weekend. Great to have rugby back. Roland Garros. That was a nice finish for Rafa. He's got number 13. Good for Rafa. Good for you. 20 titles. Can he get... I think essentially his thing is, can his knees hold up until next Roland Garros? He's not beating Zverev, and I don't think he's beating Novak on hard court surfaces. No, Novak is the greatest hard court player of all time, I think, and Novak is at his absolute apex. Rafa, once again, just a different beast, an absolutely different beast on clay. So nice to see that. A really, really great weekend of tennis there. Let's get into it. All Blacks rugby. I mean, listen, here's my thing. It makes no sense to me. The All Blacks always peaking between World Cups. All right, they went 2 in a row. That is what it is. They should have won more World Cups. Really, 95, they should have beaten us. But okay, we are what we are. 2007, don't understand how they didn't win that. They'll say Wayne Barnes cheated them. But I think you're seeing another symptom of, fair enough, system over talent. Barrett got injured. They brought in a gentleman by the name of Damian McKenzie, who is one of the most electrifying rugby players on planet Earth. Here's what I don't understand. Damian McKenzie is clearly not a fullback, certainly not a test level, and I've always said it at Super Rugby. The guy wants to control the game at number 10. You've got specialist fullbacks. Fullback is a specialist position. And being specialist is also wanting to be there. Like I don't want my accountant who wants to be an architect. Right? If I own a $10 million company, right, I don't want my accountant feeling like he should be rebuilding or rejigging the Sistine Chapel. Damian McKenzie has no interest in playing fullback. And that became very, very apparent. And here's why it's a problem. Mo'unga is the best fly half in the world. That's clear. Tactically, he's got the whole bag. And of course, with ball in hand, his pace is electrifying. His distribution is unbelievable. But he's curtailed. I've always said, don't play Barrett. But McKenzie is really another Barrett. He's a gadget guy from the back who wants to get involved and more often than not wants to get his hands on the ball. The All Blacks looked, yes, first game, but they looked directionless. And folks, committee, no good. I'm not a fan, right? To be successful, I need to know where the blame lies. I'm not a fan of leadership by committee. I'm not a fan of leadership by committee. One fly half, it's clear what happens. Your inside center can be a distributor, but I don't want two fly halves. And it feels like the All Blacks have been trying this thing with the hybrid fly half fullback combination with Barrett. Stop. The British Lions exposed them for it. The World Cup exposed them for it. And here we find ourselves in the same place. It was a good game, but it was messy. And the All Blacks, for the first time ever since I've been watching them, lacked direction. And they've got the best fly half in the world. But they almost feel like they're not ready to hand the team over to Mo'unga, because once you shut that door, it means what you're saying is Barrett is really a gadget guy. And listen, if you're a football fan, England made this mistake for years in football. Pick one of Gerrard or Lampard. Stop making Gerrard play holding midfield and stop making Scholes go and play in left midfield. Pick one. This is why coaches get paid. And Wayne Smith, who's just come in, this is why it's worrying. pick one, go with him. If he's your fly half, and listen, you get fired, you got it wrong, deal with that down the road. But they're not making a decision, and that is indecisive, and we saw it in the All Blacks play on the weekend. They should be blowing Australia out. But it was directionless, and it was a problem. That's my first problem, is your fly half is an incredibly important thing, and the All Blacks really have not got that right since Dan Carter. It's been a mess. Don't tell me Barrett replaced Carter. Barrett's been exposed over and over and over again. British Lions, World Cup, one-dimensional. Mo'unga's the guy, but they're unable to say, Barrett, you're going to come off the bench. You're not going to be, none of this, you're at fly half, but you're also going to come into the line and become a 10. No. Mo'unga's team, Carter's team, every team, if you think of the great rugby teams, when you think of the great Australian winning team, Larkham is the fly half, right? Even the Crusaders teams, Mertens is the fly half, right? For all of those, England, Johnny Wilkinson is the fly half. There isn't a second fly half who's coming in from fullback, who's playing as a double pivot. That none of that. It needs to be clear, and this is so that when you got problems, and we saw the All Blacks ran into a few tactical problems on the weekend, they didn't know where to go. It's like, oh well, let McKenzie try something. Okay, well it's not working. Let's go back to our tactical guy in Mo'unga. Awful. Number 2, and I said it on Friday. Ioane's he's not an international center, because your 13 needs to be defensive, and he got sorely exposed. This isn't touch rugby. It's not Super Rugby. I love Super Rugby. It's a great thing, but it's a little bit of let's get out there and have a bit of fun on the paddock. But when you come up against international test level players, and Australia certainly brought their A game, it's clear Ioane has little to no interest in defending. Right. And the problem is in international rugby, especially with line speeds being what they are, your 13 dictates everything. Right. He is the king of line speed. So if you look, Jacques Fourie, you look back to the great ones. I mean, Jacques Fourie is our last example. And you see Lucanio Am, why he's coming through now. A lot of people are obsessed with ball in hand. It's got nothing to do with that. And this was always my problem with people calling Brian O'Driscoll great. Couldn't defend. Brian O'Driscoll could not defend. This is why, for me, you cannot compare Brian O'Driscoll to Tana Umaga and Jacques Fourie and these greats. Your 13, his first basis, he must be able to defend that outside channel. His second thing is to carry the ball and attack the other 13's outside channel, that channel between wing and 13. That's his second mandate. It's like in football with these new wing backs, right? Is your mandate is defend first. This is my problem with Trent, Alexander, and Robertson, and I think they're being exposed now, but for a different show. Rieko Ioane is not a 13, people. Okay, we've seen it now. That's great. It was nice. It's an experiment. Okay, we know what the combination is for the All Blacks. Goodhue at 12, and it's a tough one at 13. For me, it's Goodhue 12, and their best player, honestly, I believe the All Blacks' best player all round, natural talent, is Anton Leonard-Brown. He is an absolute menace with ball in hand, but first and foremost, tactically, I love a 13 that understands and whether to drift or to attack the ball carrier at 13. That dictates everything on defense. Go and watch our best days. The best example I've seen. Go and watch 2013 when Jacques Fourie, when he stepped up, because remember Jean de Villiers got injured, and you had and everybody thought, oh no, Francois Steyn, Maverick. Jacques Fourie went to another level, and the defense was watertight. It all starts with 13. Tana Umaga, his secret, everybody thinks ball in hand. Defensive rock. Sets the tempo, sets the line speed. Rieko Ioane, not tactically up to it. What he is he's a finisher. Give me ball in hand. I want to do that. That's Super Rugby. That's not Test Rugby. I cannot have my 13 be tactically irresponsible when it comes down to it. Because that's the channel where you attack, right? Is you leave your loose forwards. We're seeing more and more of it. As I don't really want to get into the tactical long grass. This 2-4-2 that people are playing is part of that middle 4 pod. You're seeing loose forwards carrying the ball on the outside of distributors, where they're in a second back line. You see now a lot of people are putting it in behind. That's always the channel that people are attacking. If your 13 isn't disciplined, if your 13 doesn't want to defend, it's a problem. And Ioane, no interest. Absolutely no interest. So the All Blacks need to get it together. Give the team to Mo'unga now. There must be no debate. It is Mwanga's team. Barrett is the backup or the gadget guy and will be. I don't want Barrett playing at 15. They've got George Bridge who can play 15 for me is probably their guy. McKenzie's not a 15. McKenzie is not a 15, folks. Fullback is a specialist position and you must want to. When you think, once again, you go back, Jeff Wilson, Christian Cullen. You don't think of them as, like with McKenzie, he wants to play half. It's very, very clear. He wants to be first receiver. It is Mwanga's team. Everybody rolls to that tempo. Right? Because McKenzie and Mwanga are two completely different players. And the All Blacks are a system team. Tactical, they're going to kick, they're going to put you under pressure, and then they're going to let their skills take care of the rest. Right now, it's a little bit in between. The Maverick from the back, whether it's Barrett or it's McKenzie, and then you've got at number 10, you're trying to build and pile pressure with a tactical kicker. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Half in on anything doesn't work. And then Ioane, listen, play him. It's tough because I don't think he's getting in on the wing. I want George Bridge, and I just think at right wing they've got so many options. Caleb Clark didn't love it, but okay, whatever. It's his debut. I'm not a big fan of Caleb Clark. People seem to be. Those are my thoughts on All Blacks. Love to know what people think. I'd love to know what people think. And this is once again, folks, remember when dynasties are formed. People think dynasties are going to last forever. Graham Henry formed an identity. That takes time and it's painful. Winning's a brutal business. This is what English football didn't understand for a long time. Don't try to keep people happy. Wherever you work, if you got a manager, people in charge, if people like their manager, this buddy thing, you got problems. And I know it's a new time. Get along with your boss. Let's hang out for drinks. No, there has to be the fear that I could get cut. This is at the very sharp end, right? Warren Buffett's not hanging out with his middle management. He's not doing it. Elon Musk, the turnover is ridiculous. The All Blacks have to make hard decisions. Sven-Goran Eriksson and the FA could not. Yet Paul Scholes playing left midfield. Are you kidding me? Trying to fit Gerrard and Lampard. Don't try and keep people happy. If you want to move forward in life, don't try and keep people happy. It's the most revolting thing in the world. Say what you feel, and if you want to win, live and die by the sword. LeBron James, we saw last night, true greatness. LeBron's not keeping people happy. What happened in the first year? He works. Get rid of the 3 kids. Lonzo, get out of here. Brendan Ingram, get out of here. Kuzma, you can stay. You're the one. Everybody else, and we saw the reports, disposable. If you've seen Michael Jordan, how did he operate? Jerry Krause, what? You don't want me? I'm going to retire for a year. You got rid of my coach. You got rid of my guys. I'm the hell out of here until I get what I want. Stop trying to make people happy if you want to win. If you don't want to win, you want to be la-di-da, you want to be middle of the road. And I think this is where the All Blacks are going to struggle. It's a new era now, is you got to make cutthroat decisions. You have to be clear. To win, there has to be absolute clarity. If you want to be la-di-da, that's fine. Most people are ordinary. If the All Blacks want to be ordinary, if they want to join the rest of world rugby, England, France, and be ordinary, have no direction. Because it can very quickly go that way. And if you don't believe me, ask Man United fans. If you don't believe me, ask Arsenal fans. This is real. Arsenal fans thought it would last a while, would get rid of Henry and them, and we just start again. It's not how it works. You have to be deliberate. And Arsene Wenger stopped being clinical and brutal. And then he didn't have Vieira, who did the clinical and brutal and beating people up. And there was no Ray Parlour. Edge, Henry, edge. The All Blacks looking a little soft. Trying to keep everyone happy. Barrett must stay happy. McKenzie must stay happy. No. You drop. You pick specialists. Hey, love or hate Rassie Erasmus. That's Rassie's secret. Here's who I want, blah, blah, blah. 5 or 6 positions are crucial, non-negotiable. The rest of you, by the way, you'll be playing around those people. Sio Khaleesi, non-negotiable. Peter Steph Toy, non-negotiable. The front row, non-negotiable. The rest of you, you're lucky to get in. And it's Rassie's way or the highway, and we'll go win. Jake White, same thing. Sir Clive Woodward, go and look up the great English team that won in 2003. Clinical. Clive Woodward, not mucking about. This is why I think the All Blacks struggled, and Graham Henry, since he left, we've seen it. It's not the same. Be honest. be honest, when you look at Daniel Carter, you look at that great era, right? I mean, they embarrassed the British and Irish Lions. They were brutal. They were clinical. It was ugly. I mean, that tackle on Brian O'Driscoll by Umanga to end his series, whether deliberate or not, but they had that bastard in them. The great United teams, I've always said it. You need that bastard, but it has to start at the top. Graham Henry was unrelenting. Graham Henry dropped Joe Rokothoko for having one bad game. One bad game. You're gone. Maybe the greatest finisher of this generation, outside of Rupeni Dauda Mboka. Get out. Graham Henry, real. Like, that's not going to work. Andrew Mertens, by the way, you're great. Gotta go. That's how you win. This all black thing, it's worrying. This new era is very, very worrying. Very, very worrying. The Ioane thing at 13 is not going to work. Go and watch it again. Let's move on to this. Listen, there are 3 managers, I think, that are under pressure. I'm not saying they're going to get fired. I'm not calling for anybody's job. But there are 3 managers in the English Premier League that I think are under enormous pressure. 2 of them for similar reasons. And then the one just because things should work, right? Things should work. So, when you date people, you ever seen when people are dating and they keep running into the same problems? And even if they're your best friend, eventually after the 3rd girlfriend or boyfriend who, I don't know, doesn't fit them. So maybe that person wants to settle down and the other person still wants to party. They keep dating the same young person who loves tattoos and wants to go out on Tuesday evenings, and they come and complain to you. Eventually you're like, ugh. And listen, sometimes friendships end. I'm big on that. I'm big on let's move on. Like, let's move on. If you're not it, let's move on. And I think there's 2 managers who are at last chance saloon in terms of being great, because I don't see after this where they can go and build another dynasty or have a chance to have a crack at separating themselves and becoming great. Because I want to be clear, Roberto Di Matteo has a Champions League title, by the way. 1 Champions League title. He has an FA Cup and a Champions League double on his resume. He was at Chelsea for 6 months. He barely got his hair wet in the shower and he was fired. So I want to start with Jurgen Klopp. I think he is under the most pressure of any manager. Not in terms of he's going to get fired. It's 5 years into it now. And I'm hearing overtures of greatness and he's the greatest manager of all time. And stop. But what he is the nearly there man. You look at his Dortmund years, it was always losing in the Champions League final, in the Cup final. Now at Liverpool, I hate to repeat this, he's never done anything great to separate himself from the rest. Leicester won a league title, and that's it. Blackburn won a league title, that's it. Other teams have won just the league title. Greatness isn't for everyone, people. Don't get caught up in the hype. When you're great, you separate yourself from the rest. You know what Liverpool need to go and do? Defend the title and win a league and FA Cup. And I don't know how much time Jurgen Klopp has left, because I think this is his last stop where it's going to be proper. I don't see him going to a Bayern Munich. I just don't see him at Bayern Munich. It doesn't work. That character with Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, if you don't know him, he is the most powerful man alongside Florentino Perez, I believe, in European football. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge is a different beast. And the Bavarians do things differently. If you know your German tradition, they do it differently. Jurgen Klopp likes to do it his own way. Even Carlo Ancelotti, even Pep Guardiola. We remember the Kaiser coming out and saying he doesn't like this tiki-taka football. They want to do it their own way. Don't tell me about your heavy metal nonsense. We're German, Die Mannschaft, as they say in Bavaria, Mia San Mia, we are who we are. You're not going to come in and tell us Pep Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti. They tend to, these managers who are used to doing it their own way, they tend to go pretty quickly. Hansi Flick, his secret now, direct power football is we're relentless. Don't they look like a German team? If you go and watch the Brazil when Germany decimated Brazil 7-1, and you go and watch Bayern Munich now, it is the old German way. It is the 60s, 70s, 80s Beckenbauer's Germany. Power, relentless, direct. No flair. No flair. They throttle you. And it's almost like, the Germans have always said they play like it's like a python, right? Every time you breathe, they constrict you. Every time you breathe, squeeze tighter and tighter and tighter. And it's very systematic, right? That German approach, wear you down. Don't they look like that? Go and watch that 7-1 if you don't know what I'm talking. So in football, we call it the concertina, right? When they close from four corners. So if you play at a rudimentary level of football, generally what they say is when we don't have the ball from outside in, we close, right? But as you go higher and higher in the levels of football, you got to do other special things. Is you close diagonally. So not only do you come in, but you come back. When we open, you open it at angles, and in behind you, people fill in. You'll see, nobody does it better than Pep Guardiola's Barcelona and Man City 2 years ago at their peak, is you've got inverted fullbacks filling in spaces. So you concertina at angles, and that's at the very top level. But generally, the fundamentals. Bayern Munich right now, under Hansi Flick, are doing it at another level. Liverpool don't do that, by the way. Liverpool are all about what they call the gegenpress. They close vertically. So the vertical lines, what you need is unbelievably fit people for that, and you need relentless people. And Jurgen Klopp, I think, has his perfect team in that sense. But he's under enormous pressure because this is the last chance saloon for him to, I believe, build a dynasty. As we've seen, it's taken him 5 years to even win just a league and a Champions League. He's got no other titles, by the way. It is the 5th year. And he's never done anything great in terms of a league and cup double, a league and Champions League double. Champions League doesn't separate him. Roberto Di Matteo has a Champions League title. And Roberto Di Matteo, in a season when Chelsea had no manager, came in for 6 months. He won the FA Cup and League Cup, by the way. And the Champions League. A league and a League Cup and a Champions League double. So Klopp's never done that. If you want to be great, you have to separate yourself. Carlo Ancelotti, FA Cup and League double. That's what great teams do. Sir Alex Ferguson, what does he do? Trebles, League and FA Cup double. Pep Guardiola, he's the first to win every single local trophy, right? League, FA Cup, League Cup. That's great. Great mustn't be overused. It's Jurgen Klopp's last stop. I don't believe after this he'll get another chance to build a dynasty. I don't believe it because I don't know where he goes from here. There's no ways he can go to Real Madrid because he doesn't strike me as the type of manager. From all the reports, he rejected Chelsea. I saw an interview where he said that's just not his type of football club. So he's not going to Real Madrid. He's not going to PSG. And I just don't see it working with Rummenigge. Can he stomach having gone to Dortmund and being what he is to the Dortmund fans going there? And also, I just don't see Mr. Idiosyncratic, cool glasses, and we're going to do it the Klopp way, heavy metal, and we don't do that at Mia San Mia. It's you do it our way. Pep Guardiola only survived 2 seasons there, 2.5. And then the third season, by the middle of the third season, it was over. It was very clear. Once you got Beckenbauer and people coming from the top rope saying, oh, this tippy-tappy football, you got problems. So I believe Jurgen Klopp is under massive pressure to win and to win big. And I believe it has to be this season because this is the last dance for all of them. After the season, it breaks up. There's already Mane, Real Madrid, they're knocking. And, Real Madrid knocked the first time, second time. Generally, the third time, it's £100 million. And it's Eden Hazard, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Mo Salah's not going to be around forever. There is a higher level than Liverpool. If they can't win League and Champions League, League and Cup, these guys want to go and fulfill legacies. They want to fulfill legacies. Barcelona will come again. Dembele and these people aren't working out. PSG are undertaking a serious project. COVID market. Oh, what you're going to do? Say 150 million. Sadio Mane, you're going to say no to that? This is it. This season has to be League and Cup, League and something. It can't just be another league title. That's not special. That's not special. Claudio Ranieri's done that. Kenny Dalglish has done that. Blackburn have won just the league title. So that's big pressure. The other guy who has big pressure, I think it's his last chance with a club that'll take him seriously. I think Brendan Rodgers is under enormous pressure. Not in terms of the getting fired pressure, but if he can't use Jamie Vardy this season, because Vardy's 33, if he can't take Harvey Barnes and these kids, they've had one season where they should have come forth. He wet the bed last year. They should have come forth. The COVID, of course, United, everybody recovered, but Leicester should have come forth last year. We saw what happened with Liverpool. He should have won the title with Liverpool, and he kept attacking. He never, ever just won and ground games out. Is Brendan Rodgers made for the big time? Is he going to be maybe a slightly better version of Big Sam, where he comes into sort of small mid-table clubs and takes them up to between 6th and 4th? Or is he going to take Leicester and make them come 3rd this year and challenge for the FA Cup? Because I think if he doesn't do it now, he's forever going to be that Newcastle, Leicester level in between sort of 6th and 12th. And that's big pressure, because these managers, these young guys, especially because Brendan Rodgers is the great British hope. He is the current great British hope. I think Lampard's still too raw. That's very clear. Is that season as Liverpool, everyone thought Brendan Rodgers is the next hope. He plays that football. He went to Celtic. He needed that sabbatical. But he is under enormous pressure this year. They've spent a ton of money. He's got world-class players. Listen, I like Tielemans. I think Tielemans is world-class and is too good to be at Leicester. Whether you like him or not, I think you need to start admitting Jamie Vardy's a Premier League legend. By Premier League standards, there's very few as good as Vardy ever. I think he's starting to climb into the top. He's certainly in the top 10 conversation, but you have to give Jamie Vardy props and say he's top 8, top 10. Because he's not just a finisher. He's got so much to his game. Can you use him? You got Maddison. You got Tielemans. You got Soyuncu now. All of these players are at their peak. You have no excuse. Harvey Barnes has come on nicely. Can you take it to the next level, Brendan? Like Jurgen Klopp, he took a couple of guys where everybody went, we don't know, to a title, to a Champions League. The nearly there, man, or are you the guy, Brendan? The pressure is huge. It'll pile on this season, because I don't know if Jamie Vardy has another season, another 20-goal season in him next year. 33, especially with that style. Started professional football late, but I just think it's make it or bust this season. If he doesn't make top 4, if Leicester don't make top 4, which is going to be tough, Brendan Rodgers, the nearly there, man, he'll never get another big job. I don't think he'll get that Arsenal, that Chelsea, where he worked, of course, as a young manager. I don't think he'll get that job if he doesn't deliver with this Leicester team. If it's not this season, Brendan, you must take us to the promised land next season. Leicester spend money. They back the manager. They let him do his own thing. They let him bring his own staff. They're a great ownership group. A big pressure there. And then the last one, I think it's pretty obvious. Look, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you need to be in counseling 3 years into the relationship still, it's too hard. Like, friendships and relationships shouldn't be hard. Working relationships shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't still be fighting with your manager after 3 years. Like, if it's that hard, leave. Leave. People are terrible at this. Move on. And if it's not, I don't want to hear it. Stop whinging if you obviously like the pain. If things don't work, let it go. It's not working at Man United. It's not working at Man United. Ollie's a year and a half in, and it's still hard. It shouldn't be hard. When things work, it works. Klopp, 6 months in, works. Lampard, first year, works. Mourinho, first year, works. Pep, first year. It's not about the money. It's not about the results. Does it just work? So put the money aside. Mourinho arrived. Abramovich, Chelsea. It just worked. High-minded, intellectual, sharp club, Southwest London. It works. Klopp, working-class guy, connects with the fan, very emotional. The fans take to him. We have our chosen one. Forget the title thing. We didn't even win it in the first or the second year. It works. Pep, clever, intelligent, sophisticated. Man City, very much the club of the moment in world football. It works. It just works. There's no murmurings. There's no problems. There's nothing in the media. You never hear in the media, Pep and the media, Pep and the board. The board even was set up for Pep. It just works. Folks, if you're in a relationship and you're still in counseling in year 3, Just break up. It shouldn't be hard. We're adults. With Ollie, it's just too hard. It's just too hard. In every relationship, there's a reacher and there's a settler. Don't know if you've realized this. All of us are in that. And we listen, I'm an ego creature. I think I'm always the one, but I've had 2 great relationships. I was the reacher. In hindsight, I'm old enough to say it now. It's very easy for me to say it at 34 years old. In every relationship, there is a reacher and there's a settler. Man United need to be honest. We settled. I was saying to somebody the other day, never date out of your class, whether it's economic or looks or whatever it may be. Stay in your lane, people. Man United made a mistake. They have to be, just, if you make a mistake, be smart, move on. Ollie's not up to the task, right? He's not up to the task. Cut it now. How do I know that? Pochettino rumors are not being leaked by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's people. Move on. Man United are a 10. Pochettino's a 10. He's a world-class manager. He's ready. He's the guy. Look what he did at Southampton. Look what he did at Spurs with nothing. In no time, he came to Spurs, first season, Champions League. It's too hard with Ollie. It's 400 million pounds later. Like, what, 3 years into your relationship and you're still fighting with your girlfriend or boyfriend about their mom or their dad and having to spend time with them. It's too hard. You want to go camping, she wants to go picnicking. Yeah, guys, 3 years into a relationship, if that's still happening, gotta go. It should just work. Stop looking for problems. The great Sir Alex Ferguson has a great saying. He says, never go seeking conflict or problems. Those will come naturally your way. Don't worry about seeking them. It's almost like Man United and Woodward and these guys are like they're looking for the trouble. They're looking for the conflict. Like, oh, we're the smart ones who'll solve it. First year, second year, yes, okay. We're still getting to know each other. It's tough. You got your baggage from your ex-relationship. I got my baggage from the ex-relationship. It's too hard now. Ollie's under pressure because he's not up to the task. Forget about the money. Forget about Woodward. You can blame that all you like. It's like, Ollie, what's going on with the tactics, dude? You're at Man United. Are you a cutthroat sort of team? Are you a counter-attacking team? Are you a defensive team? Are you pressing high? Don't Man United feel like nothing? They really do. Are they a counter-attacking team? Because it kind of feels like Bruno Fernandes every now and then will release Marcus Rashford. But that's not like a consistent point of attack. Is Martial playing at 9? Does he hold it up for Greenwood and Martial to join him? Or does it feel like individual brilliance of Marcus Rashford having to pick up a 60-yard diagonal from Bruno Fernandes is the only way United get goals? That's not an identity. When Rashford has to do something spectacular and Greenwood has to do something spectacular all the time, that's not an identity. Please don't think that lockdown run was Man United's identity. It's too hard. It's too hard. Ollie, the pressure is immense now. He's not up to it. Not every CEO can be in charge of Berkshire Hathaway. Some people are made to run $5 million companies. Some people are meant to run $10 billion companies. It takes a different animal. Fergie was a different animal. Who's done best at Man United? Be honest. And people don't like to admit it. Jose Mourinho. Why? Because he's the guy. You got to be. Man United's the club. It's the guy. You can't have a guy who's on his way to being the guy. Louis van Gaal was the guy 20 years ago when he was leading the historic Ajax team. Not now. Folks, Louis van Gaal's BBM, BlackBerry. Now Mourinho's iPhone. Pep's iPhone. Klopp, iPhone. We now turn it over and I want to update every 6 months. Moyes, he was Mix-It. We're on WhatsApp now, Chief. I mean, Ollie's a 3310. Ollie's a 3310. I can't do it. Not in 2020. I got 5G. There's no 5G on a 3310. It doesn't work. Man United's it. Ollie is not. Don't let the nostalgia kill you, people. Don't let this nostalgia kill you. How many times have you gotten back with your ex-girlfriend and you thought, oh, it's going to work? The reason you broke up will always exist. Ollie, you're not it, Chief. There's a reason Cardiff let him go. There's a reason he didn't cut it at Cardiff. You know why Frank Lampard works at Chelsea? Oh, look what you did at Derby. You know why Brendan Rodgers worked at Liverpool back in the day? Right? We saw what he did in Wales with Swansea. You should be able to at least see, even if they're not winning with those smaller teams, you should see something. You saw that Derby team with Lampard. You saw what they were doing. You saw that Swansea team under Brendan Rodgers before he got the Liverpool gig. You saw how close Brendan Rodgers got them to the title. It was a shambles at Cardiff. A shambles. Just a mess. And the way they got relegated was an abolition. Absolutely revolting. Move on. Move on, people. You got to learn to move on. Winning's a brutal business. Move on. I mean, one of the people I love, Colin Cowherd, says it beautifully. Is you should be slow to hire. And I think this is the same in all relationships. Be slow to get into relationships, but be quick to cut. They should have been, Man United have not done their research. Yes. Be quick to cut. I made a mistake. Okay. Get your ego out the way. Be quick to cut. No nostalgia. Ollie's not it. It's clear now. We don't know what we're doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. The last thing you need is Ed Woodward, and now you got Ollie who doesn't know what he's doing. You know, a mentor of mine has a great saying, is she's always happy for me to make mistakes. What she will not accept is the step after making a mistake makes it worse. When you've made a mistake, the worst thing you can do is make it worse by your next action. All right, you made a mistake with Moyes. You went LVG, made it worse. All right, it seemed like you were onto something with Mourinho. All right, didn't work. You go out after Mourinho, it's a mess. Then you go gigs for whatever reason. You make it worse. And then you go, Ollie, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Just cut it. The relationship is over. It doesn't work. It's oil and water. Listen, Ollie is in kindergarten. Man United are suitable for a PhD student. He's come on. I don't think that's a hot take. It's not a hot take, and I'd love to know what the United fans think, but it's clear now. I'm not saying it after 10 games, 20 games. This is too hard because he can't keep Pogba on a leash. Greenwood's doing what he's doing. He can't keep Maguire on a leash. This is Man United. That doesn't happen under Mourinho. That doesn't happen under Jose Mourinho. It doesn't happen under Pep. And when that happens, you know what. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Let me give you an example. If Ollie was up to it, Maguire would no longer be at United. Forget about the economic investment. Do you know how I know that doesn't matter? Let me give you an anecdote. Let me give you a story of what happens at the top. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, at a stage when he was arguably the best striker, top 3 strikers in the world, they said, Samuel Eto'o, we're done with you. You can head to Inter Milan. We don't really care. We'll basically swap you for a bag of balls and like 30 million. And Zlatan, why don't you come this way? First season doesn't work. What does Pep Guardiola do? Get the hell out. You know why Zlatan had to go? Because Zlatan wanted to drive his Ferrari to the Nou Camp, and they said, absolutely not. Pep said, Audi is our sponsor. Drive that car. It is said that the day the relationship was ended was the next day when Zlatan came in his Ferrari again. Pep said, all right, well, if this is how it's going to go. That's what you, like, honestly, Pogba should have been out of there by now. With all of, I mean, you heard what Pogba said in the paper. It's his dream to play for Real Madrid. Ollie should be saying right now. Like, and I tell you who's seeing it. Mikel Arteta. This is why Ollie's under pressure. We can see other young managers being ruthless. Mikel Arteta, Guendouzi, one of the best young midfielders around. Don't like your attitude? Cheers, mate. Mesut Ozil, you're one of the highest paid footballers in the world. Your attitude and some of the things you're saying in public do not fit within the Arsenal image. We're a classy club and you keep it in-house. You can't even make the Carabao Cup squad. What you want to, and how often do people threaten, oh, we'll sit the player down and we won't let him play? Here's Mikel Arteta. He's showing you. He's showing you. We're going to win. We're going to do it my way. You're going to do it the Arsenal way. Not your way. With Ollie, come on. It's a mess. It's a mess. I'm sorry. Tell me what you want. You can't have Maguire in Mykonos, then Greenwood with his thing, then Pogba constantly, and then Martial punching people in a game. It's too loose. It's too loose, Chief. The CEO must take responsibility. Don't ever tell me when you're in charge. I don't ever want to hear, oh, I didn't know that happened. I don't know why that happened. I don't want to hear it. Fergie. Man United fans know very well what Fergie used to do. He took all the responsibility. Why? Because he took all the blame. He took all the blame. And Ollie, there's too many excuses. You're not up to it, Chief. So for me, he is under enormous pressure. The Pochettino thing's real now. It's real. He's ready. He's a PhD student. He's ready to go and study particle physics, which is Man United. It is the finest, the best of the best. And let's do this thing. Give Poch 4 or 5 years to get this thing back on track. That's my opinion. I'd love to know what people think. What do you think about the rugby? What do you think about Man United? If you're an Arsenal fan, what do you think? But I just think it's too hard. I think Klopp is under pressure. If he doesn't do it this season, I think it's the end of a dynasty. And then he's going to have a problem in terms of being considered great. You got to win a league and cup double. I'm sorry, Jurgen. Yes, you're a fun guy. I know people want to like fun people they like, and you don't like Jose Mourinho because he'll tell you that he's a special one, but he won league and cup double in his first season. That's special. That's different. That's different. There's nothing Liverpool have done that's different. There's nothing. You've just won a league title. You only get one for those. Blackburn and Leicester have done that. Roberto Di Matteo won FA Cup and Champions League double. That's special. That separates you. To be great, you must do something to separate yourself from the rest. And there's nothing Jurgen Klopp has done at this stage. All right, let's wrap up with a few questions. If you do have questions, I'll take 2 questions from Senzo Sitebe and we will move on. Shout out LeBron James, by the way. Oh, it must be making people sick if you're a LeBron hater. Absolutely sick to their stomachs, and I love it. Shout out LeBron. They said he came to retire. Absolutely love it. Senzo Sitebe says, the problem with the All Blacks is that they are trying to accommodate everyone and fit all those superstars. So nobody really knows what their roles, and I'm speaking from 10 to 15. I totally agree. Senzo, I think I've gone over it enough. It lacks a ruthless edge. What's always separated the All Blacks, especially in that Carter era, my God, they were ruthless. Rokotoko, gone. Howlett, gone. They just, Graham Henry, after they lost, especially after that 2007 debacle, just, blood in the water. Gone. Bang, bang, bang. McCall stays, and that core spine sort of stayed. Kieran Reid, you guys can stay, but the rest, Jerry Collins, gone. Gone. Bang, bang, bang. Out, out, out. And it was a new era. And my God, they were unstoppable. The way the All Blacks looked, the most ruthless they have been, was that British and Irish Lions, was that, I want to say, 2006. 2006. Was it before or after the World Cup? I think it was the 2006 one. 10, where are we? 2016, 12, 8. I think so. It must have been what? 2008 or 2005. Yeah. Anyway, we know the one when Carter scored 33 points by himself. Right? That era was scary. That was scary. They were brutal and ruthless, and there were no favorites there. Richie McCaw had that dressing room under his thumb. The All Blacks lack that now. Man United lack that now. You know, you got to have people in the locker room that are holding the standards. And if not, then it's got to be the manager. You can't have both be loose. So I totally agree there. Sanders Teba says, go look at Conrad Smith. If you want to see a great All Black 13, doesn't get enough props. There's the perfect example. And that's where I think Ma'anonu must be grateful, because Ma'anonu never the greatest tactical player. I think he developed into a decent distributor later instead of just being a human wrecking ball. But I think Nonu can thank Conrad Smith because you know what Conrad Smith was, and Jacques Free. I always call them makeup. All of the deficiencies, and I know we love Jean de Villiers, but he had some problems, right? Defensively, I didn't love Jean de Villiers. But you have the makeup, because you know what makeup does? It covers up all your spots. It takes you from a 4 to a 6.5. And that's what Conrad Smith was. He was the ultimate 13. Jacques Fourie, for me. Brian O'Driscoll doesn't belong in this conversation. Tana Umanga, another one. Makeup. Conrad Smith. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to hear my 13's name because he should be a defensive tone setter. Brian O'Driscoll's known for what? For his attacking running lines. It's not what I pay you for, Chief. My penetration must come from 12, my 12 carrier, my 6 ball carrier in international rugby, 7 in South African rugby. And I will take my penetration up the middle from those guys. And my 13 is there as the makeup. You recover things on attack. You kind of give us that shape and you're attacking the outside gap if need be. That was Brian O'Driscoll's only trick, one trick pony. Defense, not so much. Didn't love that. Couldn't defend the outside channel. Jacques Fourie, Tana Umanga, Conrad Smith. Let's have it. So I totally agree there. Sender says, what I do agree with you on about United is that Ollie isn't cutthroat enough, especially with what happened with Bruno Fernandes. Also, we need we've been too lenient with Maguire. It's embarrassing. Look, you only need to look around the league. What happened? Okay, in fact, don't look around. Look at your own club standards. What happened when Ruud van Nistelrooy started coming out and talking about his contract? What happened? What happened when Jaap Stam started talking in the papers about being the best centre-back in the world? What happened? And they were at the top of their game, by the way, at this stage. What happened when David Beckham became known as a spice boy more than a footballer? What happened? When the media started talking about, and it was very clear, Beckham was sending a message out of, it's about my brand now, Real Madrid, AC Milan was coming out. What happened? One season later, they were the hell out of there. One season later, they were the hell out of there. Mykonos was 2 months ago. You had a month to deal with it. If the manager was in charge, let's be honest, Maguire's on the transfer list and you sell him for 30 million. Because you know what message you're sending, as Mikel Arteta is sending at Arsenal. The days of losing are over. The days of doing it your way is over. The days of mediocrity at Man United. And it starts with the behavior, folks. It starts with the behavior. And Roy Keane said it a long time ago. He said, these players threw Jose Mourinho under the bus. They'll do it to Ollie. Everybody came out and criticized Keane and said, oh, grumpy old man. If Ollie was serious, you get rid of these guys. You get rid of these guys and you do. In fact, he should have been waiting for Maguire to do that. Like, awesome. Now I can start my era. He didn't want Maguire. He didn't buy Pogba. I didn't buy these guys. If I'm Ollie, I'm looking for any excuse to hire my guys. You know why? Don't ever be fired for someone else's mistakes. Wherever you work. Listen, I'm a confrontational person because I'm not going to get fired for someone else's mistakes. And if you do that, that's your problem. Ollie, by the way, I have no empathy for Ollie because he could have made it very clear. Maguire, he's got to go. And listen, Ollie's a bigger Manchester United legend. Do you think if he goes to Sir Bobby and he goes upstairs, you know where you need to cause rumblings? He knows how the club works. Nobody needs to tell Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, Woodward's in charge, but you know where to go, the footballing people. He should be looking for excuses to get rid of Pogba and Maguire and that old era and say, right, Rashford's going to lead this new era, Mr. MBE, and we're going to go forward. And then you know what? You know what you do as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? You give yourself time as well. Because now he's putting himself under pressure. Because what are we talking about? Hey, you've got Pogba, you've got Bruno Fernandes, you've got £90 million world record signing in Maguire. Why can't you win? But if he gets rid of those guys, you know, the narrative changes. This is what smart people do. And then you go, oh, he's doing a rebuild. We're going to have to give Ollie 2 or 3 years. Now people are saying, no, we want to win now. There's 400, 500, 600 million pounds of talent on the pitch. Tellez, we just got him now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Fred, they cost 50 million pounds. So I just think Ollie, you know what it is? More than the cutthroat thing, at some stage, you have to accept that he just doesn't get it. It's okay. It's okay to criticize our heroes. We all have our limitations. We all have our blind spots. I just think Ollie, at that level, it's not just about the X's and O's. If you're the manager at that level, and Arteta seems to get it, it's also about playing the mental games. It's also about power and control in the locker room. Because if you don't control egos, they will eat you. They will eat you alive. Fergie always said it. It is about control. It is about control. It's about, at that level, it is about nothing else but control. And, it's not like maybe being at school or in a work environment, in a normal work environment. Once those egos are gone, there is no getting them back. They earn more money than you. They are more famous than you. They have more social power than you. They are already getting 500,000 tweets a day. They are an asset. Paul Pogba is a 500 to 600 million pound asset for Man United yearly. So if Ollie can't get that under control early like Fergie, it's too late now. The rats are out the cage. Senzo, I totally agree. But I just don't think Ollie gets it. Senzo says it was 2005 Lions. And in closing, long live King LeBron James, Ramon James. Oh, the haters, it must be killing you. It must be killing you to know that LeBron is great, the greatest. I don't want to hear it now. I actually don't want to hear Michael Jordan ever compared to him again. Like on Mount Rushmore, LeBron's the left face. He's the left face. He's the guy. He's Jefferson, right? Michael Jordan can be John Adams or whoever the other jamokes are on the other side of Mount Rushmore. LeBron is it now. 4, he's the only player to win MVP at 3 different franchises. I mean, it's a different animal. But anyway, that's not what I'm here about. Folks, love to hear what you think. If you're a United fan, do you agree with me? Brendan Rodgers, what do you think there? All Blacks, do you think there's a dilemma? Are they going soft? Are they going soft? Is it a new time? For tonight, you could have been anywhere with anybody. Remember to like, share, subscribe, push the like button. That gets us up the ratings. And it's good for my ego. It is Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. Folks, you could have been anywhere with anybody tonight. You chose to be with me. My name is MKT. He's Gareth Cliff. We are the hell out of here.